Hey guys, Sam from Tune Outdoor. I'm the lead technician here. Today we have an M1 on a Toyota Tacoma, so we're going to walk you through this and introduce you to the product. So one of the options that you can get on the M1 is a slider window to the rear of the bulkhead. How you open these, there's a tab right here that you just pull back gently on, and then you can just grab the side of that window and open it towards the passenger. Gets a little bit crowded with the battery mount right there, but still opens. And then getting that to close, you just push it back until you feel it clip over and it's closed. So moving on, another accessory that you can get on the M1 is the roof fan vent. So how these function, you just need to turn the power on from your power source, and then you'll hear it beep. That means it's on. Just press the on button, that'll get it going. To open it, you're gonna pull this down and open that top cover, and then to lock it open, you just press it up again. That gives it a little extra rigidity and be able to withstand snow and stuff once that is locked open. So there are 10 variable speeds on this. Go all the way down to barely anything. When you hear that double click, that's at the end range of those speeds. The other option you can do here is change the direction that the fan is spinning. So whether you want to pull air in, push air out, just really dependent on the climate that you're in. There's also an auto 78-degree button that just holds it at a really comfortable temperature. If you go and you want to close this down, just turn it off, unlock it, and then close that cover and lock it closed. That's it for the fan. You can see we opened up some windows here just to get airflow going. Next thing, we'll be moving on to the Goal Zero and just talking through some of its features. So the Goal Zero Yeti 1500X offers a lot of customizability when it comes to wiring. So we have AC ports, USB-A, USB-C, we have cigarette, and then you can also plug it into solar, as well as a couple Anderson ports on the front here, as well as underneath. So when you buy a Goal Zero from Tune and it gets installed, we'll wire it up as you see here. So we'll have the fan or the heater coming into the Anderson port on both top and bottom. And then the lights will go into the 60-watt USB-C port. You know, as far as the use goes in the draw, very minimal from the lights and the fan. The heater will pull a little bit more, and we don't recommend running the heater and the fan at the same time just because the battery is not equipped for that output. Other things about the battery, we would recommend that you read through the owner's manuals from Goal Zero just to familiarize yourself with the operating temperature ranges. Sometimes if it gets too cold, it won't give a charge or receive a charge. Same if it gets too hot, you won't be able to charge it or it won't output any power. So as you can see on the top right here, this is the Goal Zero Vehicle Integration Kit. What this does is it connects to the battery, and when it senses that the battery is getting charged from the alternator, it will charge the Goal Zero. So, you know, with this add-on, you're able to drive and have your battery charge at the same time, and you just never have to worry about a low battery. So if you want to use accessories off of the Goal Zero, each one has a little button right at the top that will illuminate white when it's turned on. If it goes red, like that one just did there, that signifies an overdraw on the system. Sometimes you can just press it again, turn it off, and then on one more time. If you can't get that red light to clear, you know, it is signifying an overdraw, so the easiest way to restart the battery is the units and info button, and you can just hold these down for about 30 seconds, and that will send the battery into a restart. And if that works to clear the red light, then you're good to go. If not, it could be a fuse issue inside the battery, in which case we would direct you to take that issue up with Goal Zero directly with their warranty process. All right, so moving next, we will cover the halo lighting that's included with every Tune. So to turn this on, you'll feel a click there. And then this is a dimmer switch, so you can bring them up from really, really low lighting all the way up to a little bit higher. You know, as far as the consumption on the battery, obviously, if you have it on the lowest setting, it's going to pull the least amount from the battery. If you have it on a higher setting, it doesn't pull too much, won't drain your battery, but something to be mindful of. So another accessory that you can get on your Tune M1 is the solar port. So this is up on top of the roof, and it is just a junction that allows solar wires to come down through the panel, and you can access them inside the cab. We can take a look at the solar port. So what this is just a waterproof junction that we're able to run our cables from the outside to the inside with. As far as care for this goes, just checking the seals, making sure that these are tight periodically. Shouldn't loosen up, but don't want any water intrusion from the roof there. But pretty easy, as you can see here. This is what one panel. If you only order one solar panel, it'll just come on the rear, and we'll wire that up into the T-track. If you order two, then the next panel will be all the way on the front, and there'll just be a few extra wires coming down the top of the roof. But everything runs really neat into the solar port and then down to the inside. Internally, those wires run down. What we do is just connect them up underneath the base rail here, and then we route that underneath, and that will give you an option to be able to plug into your battery. You can charge your battery from the power of the sun. So on the other end of things, once you run your wire down and you plug in your MC4 to Anderson connector, you can plug that into the battery here. Once you see a blue light, that denotes that the battery is getting charged from the solar panels. Just gives you yet another option to keep your battery charged once you're out. Next up, we'll move on to one of our other accessories that we offer, which is the Truma heater. So if you follow me over here, we'll get a close up. So turning the Truma unit on, you'll just hold the display button there. If you want to get the heater running, you'll see a few different things on the display screen. So one of them is the fan. If you click on that, you can turn up the heat, and it'll go all the way up to 86, and then you click it again, and that will get the heater started. There are a few different options as well. If you scroll over to the fan, you can see you have the auto option and the night. There's also another option, which is, it's called boost. And so once the heater is up to temperature, if you click the boost, it'll kick it into overdrive and really push a lot of air. So another unique function with the Truma is if you click it on, you go to the van, you make sure the temperature is set to off. Then you go back and you scroll over to the fan. Once it's blinking, it's selected. From here, you can turn on a vent mode. And so what this will do, it will kind of act the exact same way as the Max Air and just help recirculate air within the M1. Okay, so going a little bit further, we can talk about a few of the different features through this. So if we turn on the unit here, get it going. So when you're scrolling around in the display unit, once that icon is flashing, you can press the center button and then you can go to that specific setting. So a few of the things that you can choose through here are the temperature options on the van. If you click the fan, you have a couple different fan options, whether that's auto, night mode, boost, or vent. The night mode makes things run a lot quieter. You hardly hear this unit running while you're trying to sleep. The boost is kind of the complete opposite, but it moves a lot more air. If you want to change the time, you can scroll over to the clock here and just set anything from AM to PM and get that up to date. If you do need to reset, you can come through here. You can choose if you want it to be in Celsius or in Fahrenheit. Your brightness you can change up and down, and then you can also change if you want it to be a 12 or 24-hour clock. Now, if this unit is fully set up, cranking power, it will pull 6 amps at 12 volts from your battery source. The next thing we want to cover here is just how to turn off the Truma heater. So once the unit is up to temp, if you go and hold this, it will flash off. If the heater has been running for a while, the heater or the display unit will say off with a few periods, and what that will do is it's going through its cooldown cycle, so it's very important to let it go through its cooldown cycle before unplugging it from a power source or anything like that. Just don't want to damage the heater. So on the end of the Truma unit here, you will see a warranty placard. So this includes some of the product details as well as the serial number here, and that is highlighted in black. So once you get the unit, you will want to register it through Truma, and you'll be able to do your warranty process through them. When we sell these units, we do include a user manual as well as a product warranty card in which you can fill everything out, send it to them, and get your unit registered with Truma. All right, so when you get the Truma unit from us, we will include a propane tank mount as well as a 10-pound propane tank. Now, the mount will accommodate a 5-pound, which we have here, or a 10-pound. When we sell these, we're not allowed to sell full tanks, but you can get that propane filled anywhere that propane is sold. So how this is routed into the camper, we have this on a quick connect here, and that just goes right into that propane tank. When you go to start up the heater, you want to make sure that that quick connect is in. You want to open the tank, and then right here there's an on-off switch, and you want to flip that up. Now it's important that you do it in that order of leaving this closed, opening the tank, and then opening this, just so we can build adequate back pressure, and the regulator will allow gas to flow through. Moving back inside here, another important piece with the display unit is the temperature sensor. So with this, there's enough cable on the inside. You can pull it out and set the sensor wherever you want it to be. What this sensor does is it will detect once a certain area in the camper has reached the specific temperature that you set up on the display unit, and the Truma will turn off after that. So if you want to get this above the bed platform, you can just come up, slide it in a T-track and turn it. And pretty much there's enough cable here that you're able to put that temperature sensor anywhere in the vehicle, and that'll just, you can kind of control the climate zones with it. So there are a few error codes that the display unit can throw. The most common one is E2H and E16H. That just denotes that the heater is not getting gas. So if you want to go through and clear these, all you have to do is press it until that triangle with the exclamation point goes away, and then you can rerun this. Most of the times this will happen once you disconnect the gas, or if you don't properly open up the gas and the gas line. You know, with the regulator, sometimes it won't sense back pressure, and then it just won't be enough to get this unit to register that there's actual gas, and that regulator will stop the flow. So the important things are just clearing it through the display unit and then going back out and doing the startup procedure from the gas tank to the heater. With every Truma kit that we sell is included this packet. In that, there are a few different user manuals. One of them is for the display unit, and that will show all of the error codes and all the functions and everything that you can do inside the actual display unit. The other is for the heater, so this goes into the technical specifications of how it works, and gives you a few more details there. The other thing is the warranty registration card, where you just put all of your information, address, and then the serial number for the product, so you're able to get with Truma directly and register your product with them in order to be covered under their warranty. Moving on, the last thing here on the outside with the heater is the intake and exhaust port. As it sounds, both the intake and the exhaust are routed through the same hole. So the important thing with this is the 3-inch rubber cap that we include. You'll really want to use this when you are, washing the vehicle, driving in heavy rains, or just most everyday driving. How this goes on, just clips onto the outside, and then you can just use a flathead screwdriver to tighten it down and have a waterproof seal around it. Moving on to the next part are our windows, and we have 6 of these in the entire canopy, 2 in the front, 2 on the sides. How these work, you want to start by unzipping each side, and then there is a strip of Velcro at the top. You can grab the pull handles here, and that will open the window. If you don't want to deal with this window flap, you can just roll it, and it will neatly tuck up into the bottom of the window there, so you just don't have to deal with that excess fabric. One of the options that we do sell are vinyl window inserts. So these mainly help with driving rain, heavy winds, or anything like that. The easiest way to install these, they are cut a little bit long to help with severe weather, and there is a channel behind each one of these where you just pull it out and you tuck that excess in, and it tucks into the bottom here. Where this is really, really helpful is that driving wind and rain. With all 6 of these, if you want to have your windows open during inclement weather, it just helps direct that water flow down to the bottom. There's a water channel here with 3 gutters that are sewn in, and so any water that does get blown into this will be funneled straight out to the outside of the canopy. If you want to take these out, it's as easy as undoing the Velcro And the easiest spot to store these is just straight up underneath the mattress until you want to use them again. All right, so another one of the options that we do offer is the king mattress extension. So what this does is it turns that queen bed out into a king, allowing you to sleep east-west if you want to, or north-south in this case. So the way that the bed extension works, you remove your mattress there, you want to lift it off the standoff and disengage it from the hinge that's on this back side. If you want to stow it away, just lift up your mattress and slide this back. In this configuration, you can leave it completely closed once you go to close down the camper fully. The one thing is the bed extension mattress, you can't leave it up here because it's just too tall and will cause the roof to sit up. Now if you want to go to open it, it's the same thing but in reverse. You just pull it out. You want to go real slow and you'll feel it drop into the hinge. Once it drops into that hinge, then it'll just come down and sit right on those standoffs, and then it's good to go. Anytime that your camper is down, just having the bed extension fully out. If you don't want to have it once you get up to camp, you can tuck it away underneath the mattress as we've seen, and you cannot have the bed extension mattress tucked up sitting on top. So easiest thing, you could either toss this inside the truck cab, or it can just slide down underneath and hide up under here. Again, would recommend just having it out fully once this camper is set down. But if you do want to store the mattress or the bed extension, you can take it all the way out. It is crucial to keep stored properly just so it doesn't have any scratches, dents, dings, or anything like that. It is pretty easy to remove from the full camper. Again, it's just kind of doing those things in reverse, but you lift this up and then you can take it out. You do just want to be careful when you're sliding this out, not to scratch any of the aluminum, as well as, you want to watch out if you do have glass sides. The other important thing is the weight limitation of the bed. So we do say a 600-pound point load, and that's just crucial for everybody's safety. Just don't use it as a diving board. But as far as anything else goes, having 600 pounds up in that bed is going to be completely fine. As far as washing the soft goods goes, we recommend staying away from anything high in chemicals, anything really caustic that could be damaging to the fabric and reduce its longevity. What we would recommend is really mild detergents. My favorite cleaning solution has been water, soap, and rubbing alcohol, and then microfiber. The fabric is really stout, and so most anything with that will come off really cleanly. You can power wash it. We just recommend staying at a distance, not being super close, and also not spraying the seams directly, as it could force water inside and could result in having us to have to reseal those seams. So as far as cleaning the aluminum components of the camper goes, again, would recommend staying away from anything high in chemicals. Don't really want to take it through a car wash, as it can leave chemical streaks along the anodizing. Best thing to use, again, is going to be soap, water, and rubbing alcohol solution. What I've found to work best is getting a big Tyler sponge, spraying the anodized parts, and then being able to wash it with the sponge and wipe it with microfiber. You'll be able to get anything off. You do want to avoid using anything like steel wool, Scotch-Brite, as that will damage and scratch the anodizing. But really, any mild detergent is going to work great. Up next is the weight limitations of the roof. So we would say, the roof is going to be able to hold most roof racks, boxes, solar panels, anything that you put on the top, without having to replace the struts. But our weight limit for raising is going to be 100 pounds. So if you do have a cargo box or anything up top, I would recommend just removing any of the items inside before raising the roof. So as far as the weight restrictions for lowering it, I would say no more than 500 pounds coming down. That's just for your safety, as we don't want to overload the struts. If you do have more than that, and it is, say, inclement weather, snow or anything, we'd just recommend you clear the snow load before lowering it down. You can upgrade the struts, and that's a pretty easy process if you plan to have a lot heavier weights up top more frequently. But as far as just normal use, 100 pounds up and no more than 500 pounds coming down. If you do plan to have things up there long term that are in excess of 100 pounds, it would be advisable to replace the gas struts, and I will walk you through how to do that here in just a moment. So as far as replacing the gas struts go, there are two shoulder pins, one on the bottom, one on the top. So you just have to slide those out and then the gas strut will just pop right off. What comes on the camper is 60-pound struts. We do also stock 80 and 100-pound. Very easy process as far as replacing the struts go. Easy taking off and putting back on. You know, again, that is only if you expect to have weights above 100 pounds up there for the long term, but we found that 60 pounds will work for just about anything. Once you get ready to close the M1, if you do have an insulation kit, you're gonna push the bungee through the slot here, connect that to the pull tab on the window, and then make sure all your zippers are up and closed. Close that window, and then attach the bungee to the other side here. Now what these do is it just pulls in the fabric as the top canopy is coming down. Just keeps everything tucked in. It is super important to make sure that you have the bungees on. If not, it can result in a crushed zipper, and we do not warranty those. We'll start the process with lowering this down. You want to undo these safety plungers. Pop down the back, and we'll come up. Oh. And pop the front here as well. Once you do that, I'll pull the back down a little bit more and let it up just to where those gas struts rest. And then you can begin closing the front. So the important thing here is to get your hand up as high as you can and then use opposing force on the cross member here. So it's gonna be a pushing and pulling. You can see what happens if I just pull here is it shifts the whole roof back and it doesn't align the lifting arms to be able to close properly. So what this looks like is a push and a pull until we get to a certain point where that roof just kind of wants to support itself up there. And from this, you can kind of go and get it to a point, hold the roof so it doesn't close too hard, and then push it and it closes down just like that. And then as far as closing the rear, the easiest way here is just to grab this and slowly squat down with it until it is fully closed. Now, as far as opening it goes, same thing in reverse. You want to undo all the roof latches from the outside. You can get in, stand up with this here. And then as far as opening the front, what I would recommend is undoing one of these bungees just so it's a little bit easier. You can stand up on this base profile and then get it to open with your back until you get to that takeover point with the gas struts. And then from here, just want to lock out that front lifting arm and lock out the rear. So at the rear door here of the camper, we do have these latches. So the way that these work is just a toggle latch up and down. If you're getting in for the night, we recommend you close the South Co latches on the door and you can lock those. And then you can bring this door down. And so now imagining that these are locked from the outside, if you close that down and close this one down, then you can no longer push it open. And first thing in the morning, if you want to get out, slide them up, and then you can just push the door out. So one of the important things once you close the roof is going around to each of these corners and checking to see if there is any fabric that is out. You know, it's just important for the longevity of the fabric that you just tuck it back in. So it's super easy to lift up, tuck that fabric back in there, and then we'll go around to the passenger side. And we can see there's a little bit there. So again, we'll just lift that up, tuck in that fabric, and we're good to go. So we would recommend periodically checking the mounting hardware that's on these. The bolts aren't gonna come loose, but what we have seen is that gasket starts to settle in. So, you know, 2 to 3 months after an install, just walking around, making sure that those bolts are still tight, pretty much all you need to do there. Once it comes to locking up the camper, you just wanna close these South Co latches. And then the keys all the way around are the same for all 6 of the locks. The only thing that is different about them is that they're flipped over from each side. So you just have to go and turn the key the opposite way on every door. And then once those are turned sideways, everything is locked up and they can't be opened. Alrighty, and that concludes our walkthrough of a tune-in-1. Thank you for joining us.